Okay, now another way we can use the different starting techniques that we've just gone over and just covered is putting in kind of an external modality or external pressure in the sled. We can use light sled pulls, heavy sled pulls, as we talked about in our presentation and the reason behind those. But we're going to show basically how we would set it up and how we're going to drive and push off of it. So first off, we use a hip harness. There are shoulder harnesses as well. But for me, we've used both in the past. The hip harness has allowed the athlete to really drive their hips forward. In the beginning of the fall, in the beginning of our general prep, when we're trying to work on the athlete's power production, expressing strength with speed, this is something that works very well with that. It also kind of slows down the acceleration movements because we're pulling something, we're pulling an external load. So it allows us to kind of really practice those initial low heel swinging motions with our legs. So all Flash is going to do, he's going to get into a three-point stance as we've talked about. We're going to have the sled back behind him. We're going to want to make sure though that the cable or the rope that we're pulling with is tight or almost tight, because when he lifts his hip up, this should be tight. We never want to have slack in this, or else we're going to take 2 steps and be yanked back really hard. But all the same things in the start apply. Arm is up. When he takes off, go ahead. You can see that his first initial pushes were slowed down slightly just because he was overcoming the sled weight. We'll pull that back. Again, you can involve sleds into a workout. You know, if we're going to do, 6 to 8 30-meter starts or 20-meter starts out of a three-point stance, but our focus for that day was power production or increasing our power amount, we can incorporate an external load like the sled. We want to make sure though, and parameters that we talked about in our presentation, that we're staying anywhere from 10 to 20% of our body weight in the beginning. We don't necessarily want to load it up with 50 to 70% of their body weight and first time out really shock the system like that. Another way we've used these is with injured athletes. We've done a little bit heavier sled pulls, but just walking and hitting positions. So if we're having some type of injury or soreness and we can overcome that, we can still get a good workout, kind of acceleration focused workout, even if we have some injury stuff going on. So again, let's get down into the three-point start. So again, he's making sure that he's comfortable in those positions. As a coach, I'd be standing on the side, making sure everything's making sense here. Then when he's ready, he feels tight, go ahead. He pushes out and feels that, okay? So again, Artavius is definitely a stronger athlete. We have a little bit heavier sled, but the first couple times out, if we're going to do sled pulls, I'd make sure I stay on the lighter side of things, just because we want to make sure that the athletes are still getting the whole point of the workout in acceleration and hitting positions.